Hi, and welcome to Reviews and Recaps. Let's get into today's episode. So, the first scene started with Kimi, Mel, and Stormy just having a little sit down, chow with the girls. And they were basically talking about how the pajama party went. And Kimi pretty much asked Mel why Kiki was invited. And girl, I still don't know the answer to that question. Mel sort of just took it on a merry-go-round. I'm like, girl, just say you wanted to be petty. You invited her to start up some mess and you did exactly that. And that was that. Because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you guys, let me know in the comment section below if you guys understood Mel's answer, because I still don't. I really don't. And I'm not even trying to be petty. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But maybe you guys would. So let me know in the comment section below if you did. The other thing they talked about was, Mel's relationship with Destiny. She, of course, updating them about the brunch. And then Stormy asked if she thinks like her and Destiny could ever be back to where they were. Melody said no. She did not mince her words. She was serious. I definitely believe her, honey. I don't think she ain't never gonna be friends with Destiny like that. I think she feels very, very betrayed by a lot of people in her life. And I think that Destiny's betrayal was just the icing on the cake, honey. I even if they become cool, I don't see that relationship being back to where it was, if I'm being completely honest. Mel does not seem like that kind of girl that would be like, okay, let's everything truly be bygones. Like, let's forget everything and move on. She probably would say move on, but she's gonna treat you differently. That's what I think. Anyway, so Kimi was talking about the fact that she's having a housewarming party for Jaden. And she said that she was definitely going to invite Tisha and Destiny, but she also wanted to invite Mel. So Mel was like, okay, sure, she likes Jaden, she's going to come through. But then Tisha talked about the fact that she's not going to invite Mattel because, she just feels like a lot of drama tends to follow Mattel. And she just doesn't want any of that. She also talked about one of the reasons why she did not want to invite Mattel was because she knows that when they were going through their ish, one of the things that Melody said she needed was that for her and Mattel to not be invited to the same event. And she's like, I want you there, so I'm not going to invite him. So essentially that's what that was. And Mel brought up the fact that Kimi said that Mattel has a big heart. And Kimi repeated the same thing again. I'm like, all right, Kimi, I respect that. Like, you get called out for saying something and you say, I still stand by what I said. I said what I said. Like, okay, sis, all right, cool. The next scene, Destiny went over to Mattel's house. Now, Miss Destiny, you're doing the same thing that this girl is upset about you doing. It's like you keep saying Melody's upset, but you keep doing the same thing that is making this girl upset. Like, what is it, sis? You can't keep your mouth shut? Anyways, let me go back to recap. She went over to Mattel's house and she started telling Mattel about her conversation with Melody and how Melody feels like she shouldn't be talking to him and Tisha because they are her ups. Destiny basically told Mattel that Melody was saying that, she wanted Destiny to cut Mattel off. And Mattel was basically acting like Melody, is trying to get everyone away from his life, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, stop it. Don't do that. Like, your actions is why no one wants to be with you. No one wants to be around you. No one wants to hang with you. Like, stop acting like Melody was the one that caused you this much grief. No, you caused yourself that grief the way you treated your wife, honey. Mattel then proceeded to say that Melody shouldn't treat people the way she treats people. I'm like, bro, the way you treated your wife, honey, you don't have the audacity to speak. You should not have the audacity to speak. Like, what the hell do you think this is? Anyways, over at Tisha's house, Wanda came over to visit Tisha. Now, Wanda Of course, she came to speak about business and, things moved progress after that. She talks about, getting her business license, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, let's move to the juicy bit. So Tisha basically said that she pulls Merceau in the direction she wants him to go. I'm like, oh yeah? Do you now? Are you really certain that you have that much influence over him? Or is he compensating you because he knows he's cheating, and he knows that if he keeps you happy enough, you will not believe the rumors? Allegedly. Because I feel like I gotta say allegedly with all these things now, because I'm not trying to have anyone come after me for some mess. Of course, Tisha, in Tisha fashion, brought up exactly what happened and how Kimmy and her had a talk. She said that their relationship is getting better. Of course, Tisha brought up the fact that Mel had a pajama party, but she wasn't invited. She also brought up the fact that Kiki, her cousin, was there, and that Kiki had a lot to say. Wanda was like, Kiki's a snake. I'm like, okay, all right, everybody's a snake, Miss Wanda, but I think you may be right on this one, but okay. Then Miss Wanda said, never trust anyone that buys shoes that never comes in a box. I'm like, girl, no, just leave it. It ain't that deep, man. Mom. Anyways, my thing is, I feel like Tisha is always running off to her mom with all her fights. Like, you ain't got to tell your mom, because your mom ain't going to stay out of it. Anyways, mom was like, she going to confront Kiki about it, and nobody messes with my daughter. I'm like, okay, all right, Miss Wanda. In my opinion, I feel like Tisha is a smart girl. I feel like you know what you're doing. You're not confrontational, and your mother is. So you send off your mother to go confront your people. And I feel like that's what that is. Because it doesn't make any sense. You should say to your mom, stay out of it. I've handled it. Not, oh, mommy, leave it. Like, no, your mom ain't going to leave it. Anyway, so Mel popped up at Tiffany's office, and, Tiffany and her talked about how Tiffany was saying that she wants one more child. And they sort of just bonded about, like, talking about having children and stuff. Melody talks about, how she handles, like, having 4 children. And Tiffany also talks a little bit about how she bled when she was having her child. Anyways, the focus of the conversation was more about how Tiffany was saying that, she has found her birth mom, but she wants to look for her birth father. So she said she was going to Utah to look for her birth father. Now, apparently, Melody thinks of herself as some sort of detective. She was like, she's ready to go. And essentially, Tiffany invited her to go with her to find her biological dad. I feel like that's going to be interesting. I feel like Melody is going to get down to it. She's going to ask the right questions. She's not going to let it slide. If the bio dad is not being so forthcoming about why he gave Tiffany up for adoption, I can see Melody getting in there like, yo, why did you do this? And what did I just feel like Melody is going to grow him. And I definitely hear that on that. Next thing, guys, Miss Wanda stopped by at Kiki's house, honey. I thought that was the highlight of this episode. In a way, I feel like perhaps I need to go back and watch it, but it was entertaining as hell. So Miss Wanda did not tell Kiki she was coming, I'm sure. So she walked in, and Kiki was talking about how she's still unpacking, from, going to a new house. And she talks about having to drink wine in a plastic cup. She's still unpacking, right? So she's like, she's just being a little hood rich. Wanda was like, you mean hood bitch? And then Kiki was like, I'll leave that one up to you. I'm like, ooh, okay. Alrighty, you can cut the tension with a knife. The exchange was heated, honey. Like, Wanda was basically calling Kiki stupid for bringing up what happened 4 years ago. And one thing Kiki mentioned, which I think was really important, is that Kiki's father and Tisha's mom created a rivalry between them from when they were younger. Like, comparing Tisha and Kiki. So it's almost like they pit them against each other. And I think a lot of parents do that quite a bit, where they compare kids and they're like, why can't you be like Tisha? Why can't you be like Kiki? Kiki does this, Kiki does that. And it is so terrible as a parent if that's what you do, because you just create resentment, you create feeling of jealousy, you create feeling of competition, and you create this rivalry where these people can never just seem to get along, because they always feel like they're in competition with each other, and they can't seem to develop like good relationships. So I just feel like, yeah, man, there's probably some truth to it. But one thing I liked about Kiki is Kiki was not here for Miss Wanda's mess at all. Kiki gave it back to her. Kiki gave it back to her. Like, I can't even lie. Like, I was just there like, Miss Kiki, like, you would be good for TV. Like, the way she gave it back, she was quick, she was witty. I really liked that scene. Like, it was definitely TV gold, I would say. Anyways, over on the other side, Tiffany and Louis decided to have a date night. So Miss Tiffany set things up. She set an Airbnb. You know, she decorated it. She had a chef. She really pulled out the stops for this one, hey? So, of course, Mr. Louis walked in and they were having a chat. Tiffany then mentioned that she wanted to go with Mel to Utah, and she wanted it to be a girls' trip instead of going with Louis. I'm like, ooh, bang, bang, bang. Apparently, Tiffany and Louis had already agreed to go together in the past, but now she wants to go without Louis. I'm like, mad. Imagine agreeing with your husband to go somewhere together, and then you suddenly say, especially something that's that important, and you suddenly say, yo, don't go with me, I'm gonna go with Mel, because I think Mel will ask the right questions. I'm not even Louis, but I was hurt for him, honey. You know what my thoughts are? I think that Louis isn't very assertive. I think Tiffany is sort of like the boss in the relationship. I think she sort of decides what happens in the relationship. She sort of leads the relationship, makes most of the decisions. That's the vibe that I get. So I think that she feels like Louis is just going to take a laid back seat and she would have to lead the whole thing. And the truth of the matter is, for people who end up leading everything, especially women, they get to a point where they're like, I don't want to have to lead everything. Especially meeting my birth father is an emotional decision. So I need someone that would be a stable, solid support, who would be assertive, who would be able to ask the right questions, who would not just let anything fly over, under the radar. And I think with Louis, everything will fly under the radar. Everything will be just lackadaisical, really. I just think he's not very assertive, and she's just like, I'm not going to be babysitting nobody on this trip. I want to find my birth father. If Mel is going to help me do that, I'm going to go with Mel. And I think that's what that is. But honestly, I couldn't help but feel bad for the man. Like, he seemed like he wanted to just be there to support his wife, and his wife is like, well, leave me alone, I will support myself, and let Mel support me. So I think that must have been a letdown for him. I don't know anyone who would not be hurt by that situation if they were in that situation. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Tiffany was well within her rights to change her mind regarding, who she wanted to come with her to Utah? Do you think she made the right choice by choosing Mel over her husband in this situation? Let me know in the comment section below. I definitely get the vibe that Louis was very upset. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? The other thing was that Tiffany wants a baby. She told Louis about it. But I do get the vibe also that Louis does not want children at the moment. So we'll see how things progress with them. I think they definitely need to, the way I'm looking at it, I feel like they definitely have a lot of issues to work through. So they need to get through that and work through that. Probably, maybe, perhaps with the help of counseling or something. Anyways, we'll see how things progress with them. Thank you so much for listening. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and tap that bell for notifications. Could you also leave some comments in the comment section below about your thoughts in this episode, what you guys thought generally, and what are your expectations for next week? And I'll speak to you later. Bye.